Okay, so I did a little bit of homework, and it kicked everybody out of that room there. iRacing had a hiccup. You know, last night they wouldn't let us run the feature. They, in the 410s, we couldn't get that room scheduled. iRacing's having a couple of hiccups here, but hey, good news is we're back here for the feature, and I believe most of the drivers here made it for the call, and that's what matters here. Is I'm not going to read you off your grid, as everything happens so quick, but I'm going to show it to you here real quick. There you see the top 8, give you the rest here. We'll do a quick rundown. A lot of stuff going on here at the Coast to Coast Racing League tonight, but like I say, good news is server's back, we're racing, and we're ready to mix it up here at I-55 as Samuel Bachman's gonna go play in the clay here. Your pole sitter in the 107 looking for a good start here at I-55. He's got room if he wants to slide up. We didn't get a chance to watch these guys in warm-ups. We don't really know what the quick line is right now. We've got to kind of get a feel here and watch these guys as they duke it out. Look at Soupy Dan McLaren going up as high as he can. The 39 of Patrick Spengler trying to follow him. Jake Henry back here just settling down, trying to stay out of the action. But oh man, it's going on in front of him. Michael Vecchio and Harold Klump make some slight contact. Back up front though, Samuel Bachman is feeling the heat from old Pete Temp in the 31. Brandon Templeton, he is trying to find some speed up there in this 358. We're going to see, you know, the line move up, I would imagine, here as the night goes on. But in the big blocks, we may see the high side be the place to be here all night. Is, you know, it's just kind of a product of it is what it is. More motor, more power, and you're able to carry that speed a little better here than on the bottom. But I see an iRacing, I see it freeze up a little bit there. That's iRacing, you're scaring me here. Hold on, we got 24 to go here in the small blocks. Big mover right now, Craig Bristol here moving up through the field in that 39 machine. He's trying to look under the 99 of Glenn Sharp, trying to secure P11 right now. And McLaren going door to door with Trevor Giroux. That's two Canadians going at it here on an American holiday. We raced on their holiday, you know, Canada Day, July 1st, so they had to give it back to us here. Dan McLaren, he's looking under the 122. He's trying to find some more. Brandon Templeton's given up on trying to make that high side work. As you see, he's falling down below. And then he says, Shaggy, you want to tell me I've given up? I'll go right back up top, man. Or maybe it's a bottom in 1 and 2. Maybe he feels like he can't really run the top in 1 and 2, but likes the top in 3 and 4s. That's kind of what we're seeing here. And, you know, he gets a big run here going into the center of the corner, but not really able to do anything because he's so far away. Let's see what kind of momentum he carries here as he just slightly taps the wall, and that's, you see, not going to help his corner entry. As Brandon Templeton all over the back of your leader, Samuel Bachman. He's got a car length to the outside right now as we may be starting to see that bottom side fade away. This is almost an act of desperation out of that 107. Tried to slide up in front of the 31 there, exiting out of 4, but just didn't have the space to do it. He's going to throw it in one last time. Brandon Templeton's going to stick it on the high side, and, you know, good on him, but if Samuel Bachman throws that in again here, I think you got to counter underneath, and it's what he's going to try to do here. That's the move, Brandon. Is now he tries to move the 107 of Samuel Bachman up, make him feel uncomfortable. Oh, Brandon Templeton gets in the wall. As they are all over each other here with 13 to go at I-55. Superman Kurt Schatzer up 3 spots from the start. He's trying to find a way by Dan McLaren and Trevor Giroux. He's trying to do it on the high side. Looking at the... Oh, we saw it happen live! Oh,
yellow flag is out.
Big wreck. We saw Soupy involved, and Kurt Schatzer's going to get into him. Let's go back. Let's see if we can't find a little better angle here of the wreck. Is Dan McLaren. I think we're going to see him and Trevor Giroux make some contact. No, it's actually him and Kurt Schatzer coming out of the corner, knocks Soupy down into Trevor, and then there it is from there. Tough break. Guys just racing hard, running out of laps. I mean, we were green flagged that whole time there, so you can't really back out, you know, if you think you're up high, or if you're Dan, you know, you don't necessarily want to give him room. You want to force him to back out. You don't want to lose a spot here. Every position is so valuable. Brandon Templeton here is going to look to see how good of a start he can get here. Coming out of 3 and 4, we're going to go play some more here at I-55. Samuel Bachman able to shut the door. Brandon Templeton forces his way down there in front of the 213 of Michael Vitale, and we've got a battle for the lead. Here's Brandon Templeton trying to make Samuel Bachman maybe feel a little bit uncomfortable in the middle of 3 and 4. Gonna look on the bottom here in 1 and 2. He's gotta send it in like Samuel did to him, but Samuel's gonna run that middle group. Not gonna allow Brandon Templeton any room, and Samuel Bachman, he's gotta clear at the line. Caution is out. Caution is out. And the Ant-Man, it looks like Anthony Morano. We'll have to see what we can find here. Let's go in the overview. Watching that 32 coming off a 4 here. Is he going to make contact with the 122 of Brian Dickens? It looks almost inevitable at this point. Oh, Brian Dickens maybe bounced off the wall, maybe entered a little early, but doesn't look like the Ant-Man's going to be very happy with that one, I wouldn't imagine. Just slight contact's going to turn the 32 around, and he's going to have to climb his way up through the field here. We're 9 to go. Should be single file from this point on. Right now, your podium, if the race was over, would be Samuel Bachman, Brandon Templeton, and Michael Vitale. Remember, Michael Vitale looking to possibly battle for this points championship this season. So he's going to try to go hard at work on that 31 of Brandon Templeton. He's going to look low in 1 and 2. Brandon Templeton in that 31, though, he's going to carry a bigger head of steam coming out of 2, and he's going to run that middle line, see if he can't gain some ground on the 107 of Samuel Bachman, and it looked like he did that last time around. We're going to bring up some lap times here for us, as we're going to see what they're looking like. Is we're 3 wide for the lead in the middle of 3 and 4. B-Temp's got to go back to that middle where he was showing some speed, or he's got to send it in with the slide up in front of that 107, and there he goes. He's going to shut the door, and we got a new leader at the line, Brandon Templeton. Samuel Bachman's going to send it back in 1 and 2. Brandon Templeton's going to counter down low. We've got a dance here for the front, and can Samuel Bachman send it back in? Brandon Templeton's going to pinch him down, shut the door, and Michael Vitale has to get on the binders. Samuel Bachman, though, with a big send into 3 and 4. We're coming to 3 to go, side by side for the lead. Brandon Templeton looking to secure the front position here as the caution comes out. Caution is out at I-55 Speedway. Not sure what happened here. Possibly may have started with Craig Bristol. Let's see. Try to get you a little better view here. Craig Bristol in the 39. a little low. We have Jake Henry goes around. Contact. And I'll tell you, that definitely was the cause of our caution. And here come the leaders. That could have been bad. As we're gonna get a natural green-white checkered here. Not this time. Pace light's still on, but when Brandon Templeton takes the green, it should switch over to 2 to go. Means guys like Trevor Giroux, Dan McLaren, third and fourth.
We're not going
they're
green.
running out of time
green.
to get on that final step of the podium. So, they're going to work. Guys like Randall Dixon, Patrick Spangler, they're front runners. They don't like where they're at. So, keep an eye on those guys. I don't think the aggression is going to be finished here just yet. Once again, huge shout out to Flatline Racing Bodies for the sponsor here tonight, and being able to put on this broadcast here at the Coast to Coast Racing League. It's probably the best gig I get to do. It's definitely the most fun, and I didn't get a chance to shout out RSN for that starting lineup. It was how quick we went there. Maurer Farm Management for heat number 3. It kicked us out before we could hit up those guys. Just huge shout out to everyone who puts this together, behind the scenes and in front of the scenes. All our admins that we have, couldn't do this without you guys. And pace car should be off this time here as Brandon Templeton looks to take the field with 2 to go.
Green.
Double sticks in the air for this restart. Brandon Templeton's going to hook her up high. Going to try to carry momentum, try to pull away from this 107 to Samuel Bachman. Samuel Bachman's almost in defense mode, trying to hold on this middle step of the podium. Doesn't really have a shot at your leader, Brandon Templeton. He's just trying to protect from the 213 of Michael Vitale at this point. Brandon Templeton is going to be your feature winner here in the 358s, followed by Samuel Bachman, Michael Vitale, Trevor Giroux, and Dan McLaren rounding out the top 5. Great race there at the end. What a finish. Those guys really put it on, and man, it got exciting here. So we'll read you off 6 through 10. As you see on your screen, Randall Dixon 6, Patrick Spangler 7, Jake Henry 8, Harold Klump 9th. The Brewerton Beast's going to bring it home 10th. And the rest of the field go as follows. Ant-Man, Anthony Marano, Craig Bristol, Stephen Bixler, Michael Vecchio, Glenn Sharp, Brian Dickens, Kurt Schatzer, and Chris Alvey. We're going to go and we're going to see if we can't possibly get a word in with these guys here. Give all these guys a minute or two to catch their breath for these interviews. The Brooklyn man here, Michael Vitale, always one of my favorites to talk to, that's for sure.
That was coming on.
The 213 of Michael Vitale, able to bring it home on that bottom step of the podium, Mike. Man, it looked like you had some speed there at the end. I mean, definitely it looked like for P2 at least, but just talk to us about how hard it was to pass here at the end.
That was really hard, and I was hoping that Sam would just kind of stay up a little higher, but he ran a smart race. He got right back on that bottom because it was fast down there. I mean, I was launching off the corners pretty good down there. Just got to hold it down as hard as you can.
Well, hey, Michael, I'm sure if you're not aware of it, you are now. The guys ahead of you in points, they had to take tonight as a drop week. A couple people didn't show up. With this third place finisher, Michael, looks like you may be the new point leader in town.
He'd be short-lived.
Hey, man, don't beat yourself up that bad. You know as well as I do. These podiums in these things, they're kind of becoming a regular for you, my man.
Yeah, like I said, I enjoy racing with these guys, and just week in, week out, just try to get better and better, race cleaner and cleaner, and be more competitive.
Well, the competitive side showing, man, all these podiums. Did you learn anything tonight from maybe this track state that you can carry over into the big blocks, or do you think maybe with the more power we'll be a little more top dominant?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I think the throttle control. I learned a little bit of that throttle control in this 358 this evening, so I think that's going to play a major role in the big blocks.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing it pay off here, Michael. Hopefully you can pull off the double podium. But man, you got a beautiful car. That's a nice paint tonight. A lot of sponsors on that thing. Who you want to thank?
I appreciate it there. I want to thank, first off, my wife for letting me do this day in and day out. I want to thank Billy Roberts, my teammates, Randy, Jake, Nick, you for putting the broadcast on, Coast to Coast for giving us a place to race every week. And yeah, that's it.
Well, congratulations, Sam. And man, I'm looking forward to you trying to go for the double here.
That's Mike. That's Mike.
Oh, yeah, Mike.
Right,
I'm sorry, dude. I don't know. I was looking at Sam because I'm about to bring him up. You know
and
how
I
it
just
goes,
want to
Mike.
I just want to put a shout out to Brandon and Sam for a great race.
Yeah, man, really was a good show, and a couple more laps, who knows? But go get him here in the big blocks, brother.
I will. I'll give it a try, brother. Take care.
That's Michael Vitale, not Samuel Bachman. This is Samuel Bachman, and Sam, I tried to call Michael you once in that last interview, so I apologize for that. But man, you were setting the pace out front early on, and we both know maybe that's not the place to be. The guy in second gets to experiment a little bit and see where you're missing. And do you think that was just the difference tonight?
Oh yeah, I knew he was a little faster in the middle and the top or whatever there, and I just couldn't make it work. So I mean, I just tried to stick it down to the bottom as much as I could and throw sliders with him, and hopefully we could keep trading or whatever. And then that one caution came out where it screwed me over a little bit after he threw a slider, and he ended up getting the lead. And but that's just part of racing. It was a good race though. I mean, I had fun.
Yeah, you know, back and forth, back and forth. It really was a good heavyweight fight, man. And do you think you learned anything you can carry over into this big block, or do you think with the more power that it's just going to be a whole different show?
Yeah, it's going to be a whole different show. I think it'll probably be on the high side for a good amount of the race, and then it's probably going to be glued down to the bottom for like the last five, I'm guessing.
Yeah, you know, I kind of have that feeling too. With that more power, I think you'll see a lot more guys rip the lip and then maybe at the end try to bring it home on the bottom when guys burn up their tires. But Sam, looking forward to you trying to go for a double podium here tonight, man. That 007. Gotta love the red, white, and blue paint scheme here on 4th of July. You got a lot of sponsors on that thing, man. Who you want to thank?
All the boys over at FTM, Gunner at Swan Speed Shop, Dean over at Super Dirt Car Series, Mission 22, Expert Installation, and you for putting on the broadcast, and Coast to Coast for making this happen.
Well, appreciate it, Sam, and a hell of a job tonight, man. You said it, kind of bad timing on that caution, but man, you gave us a good show up front. Congratulations on P2.
Thank you.
That's Samuel Bachman, your P2 finisher. And now we're going to bring up the man of the hour, the guy who, you know, Brandon, at the right time, you got in the slider battle and the caution came out and it worked out for you. But let's be a little honest here. I think on that last restart, you were the only guy still ripping the lip. And, man, you were quick. You got a lot of speed tonight.
Yeah, hats off to Sam. You know, I mean, that was an awesome race. We were he gave me everything I had for most of that. I did, you know, took every lap and every inch of the track really to kind of work and find a spot to get around him. I didn't know, you know, if I could get the high side going, but as long as I could stay with him, I thought maybe the bottom will go away eventually. And it kind of started to. At least it got tougher down there for him to hit his marks. But fun race. That was awesome. So hopefully we put on a show.
Yeah, man. You know, I told him, and it sounds cheesy, but it really was, man. It was a heavyweight fight. You guys going back and forth. And I mean, if you go back and look at the replay, Michael Vitale started to stick his nose in there on the bottom too. So it got interesting, man. But, you know, I asked both those boys, and I'm going to ask you too. Do you think you learned anything that you can carry over in this to the big block, or do you think with just the power differential, it's going to be a whole different show?
I mean, it helps a little bit. You definitely, you know, in my experience, you usually got to be a little easier on the throttle in the big block because it likes to spin the tires a lot easier. But the lines and just trying to find the traction spots in the track and through the middle of 3 and 4 like I was there. That might be something that'll come up through the feature, hopefully.
Well, Brandon, the Iowa man, you get it done here, able to secure the first one. You got to be one of the, this is nothing against you here, but, we're missing a couple guys here tonight. And, man, your name, you got to be the favorite going into this big block. You think you got a chance at this double?
We'll see what we can do. It just takes so much luck, to get your car in position to be in that top 6 or 8, what it takes to be able to compete for a win. And so if we can get there, maybe we'll throw our hat in the ring, see what we can do.
Well, hell of a job tonight, man, able to put that dirt track Bank 31 here in Victory Lane. And we know you got a lot of sponsors here, man, so let's hear them.
Yeah, I got to thank Flatline Racing Bodies for putting on the show. That's kind of what's helping us be able to do this. Thanks to you for doing the stream, putting it on, being able to have something to watch back and have family to watch is cool. Dirt Track Bank, Malvern Bank, Extreme Images, Got Your Six Racing Network, Mission 22, Hogan Lawn Care, Maley's Makery, everyone watching at home and everyone helping out with Coast to Coast Racing League. Thank you.
Well, congratulations, Brandon. And like I say, man, I'm putting all my money on you here in this big block race, so the pressure's on here, brother.
No.
Go get him, man.
Yeah, thanks.
That's Brandon Templeton, your feature winner here tonight in the small blocks. And we're going to take a quick intermission here. We're going to switch over sessions, and they're going to throw these little suckers in the trailer, and maybe they just do a motor swap. I don't know what these guys do, if they keep one with a big block motor in it, or if some of them may be on my budget, may have to do a quick swap here. So they got to throw some ice on the motors here, let them cool off, and swap them out here during a quick intermission. And we'll be right back here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, so don't go anywhere.
It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Kiss on the champion. Trying to be a
bit of a hiatus, so let's get. Tonight when we talked about it.
outpouring of love was amazing. These dollars had come together to support us, and we realized, no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive, so having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately, they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday, I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
Back live here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, and you know, you saw Dan skip out there. I was down there talking to his boys a little bit. They were feeding me a little bit more insider information here, and quality connection of some of these drivers here, mine included. We all keep dropping into the red, so iRacing is definitely having some issues. Hopefully we don't see another thing where it kicks all the drivers out during a heat race again, because that was definitely not very fun. We're going to really hope that that doesn't happen to us here. We're going to go see if we can find somebody on the track here in this other group. Kurt Schatz is coming to the stop. Craig Bristol and Samuel Bachman dueling it out here. As you know, I saw a couple people reaching out in the chat box there. We had a lot going on. If you go back and watch it, like you say, iRacing dropped us, and then it wanted to say that I still had the session open, so I had to do a quick restart of my computer. So I didn't get a chance to bring back up the chat box until now, but Chris Alvia, hey man, I really appreciate that. Brett, man, what's going on at Ultimate Dirt TV? Hope you're doing well. Isaac Salas is rooting for Venom tonight. Thinks that he can't be on the track with us, but man, it's good to have Isaac out here watching, that's for sure. Trevor, I see he commented, he said mine's doing the same there earlier. He was talking about that connection issue, so he was just trying to let me know that it was freezing and logging up, or lagging up here. But Brandon Templeton, your 358 modified winner here in your first feature of the night, looking to go for the double. This guy's gotta be on your bingo card here. Anthony Morano as well. You know, he had some trouble in that first feature of the night, and he's gonna look to rebound. He is not used to not finishing on the podium here on Thursday nights. He's definitely gonna have to try to rebound. Lots of fast guys in here tonight. 19 guys registered for the session here. Connor Ross and Patrick Spangler have yet to put in a time, I believe, but they are in the session. See here, Michael Vecchio, he's not doing anything right now. Trying to find a room with somebody on the track here. Harold Plump sitting in the pits. Okay, there's the flagman. He's waving. We're going to go into heat race number 1, so we're not even going to worry about it here. And heat race number 1 is sponsored by Gambler Motorsports. Let's go ahead and... Oh, wait, heat race number 1. Here I am trying to skip qualifying. What kind of announcer am I? Just trying to move on through the show. That's terrible, Zach. You know the drill here in qualifying. You want purple. That's the quickest out of anyone in the room. So keep an eye on that bottom bar here as we're going to ride with the 5:13 here. Jeff Barker for lap number 1. Jeff Barker, let's see what kind of time that is, a 12:62. Your feature winner in the 3:58 is your current pole sitter with a 12:47. Can Brandon Templeton improve? Slower through Sector 1, quicker through Sector 2, but all in all, a slower lap here. Soupy Dan McLaren, he's going to go P2. Brian Dickens, can he get faster? No, he can't. 12:62 last time around. He's going to stay P3. The Ant-Man, Anthony Morano, he goes P5. Randall Dixon shoots up the board P3. And Chris Alvey right now, he's going to go out here. I think he maybe reset. I don't know if it's going to give him another lap here. Let's see what happens here. I'm anxious to see this. No, yeah, that's going to shut that down. Michael Vecchio, this is his first lap. Let's see where he goes on the board. Michael Vecchio is going to be 18th. He's not going to be happy with that first lap. He is quicker in Sector 1. Let's see what he does Sector 2 here. Quicker. Both sectors. Where does he go? Almost an identical lap, though. He's going to stay in P18, and that's going to do it for qualifying. As I'll read you off your top 5 here. Brandon Templeton, your fastest qualifier, followed by Dan McLaren, Randall Dixon, Brian Dickens, and the Ant-Man, Anthony Morano. Connor Ross never did put in a time. Right now he's listed in 19th, so not too sure if Connor's going to be in the show or not. As now we'll mention Gambler Motorsports heat race number 1 is starting on the pole is going to be the 89 of Craig Bristol and is outside the 213 of Michael Vitale. Inside of row number 2 we have the 122 of Brian Dickens and his outside Brandon Templeton in the 31 going for the double here tonight. Jake Henry on the inside of row number 3 and his outside. You have Samuel Bachman in the 107 and Canada Connor, he is going to make the call here. He's going to grid up in the final row all by his lonesome here. As Craig Bristol's getting ready to set the pace here in Gambler Motorsports heat race number 1. Craig Bristol probably not. Oh, contact between him and Michael Vitale. And that's going to open up the door for the 122 on the bottom. And the 31 going high and handsome here as they were 4 wide coming out of 2. My gosh, hold on to your hats, ladies and gentlemen. Here comes Brandon Templeton. He knows his best chance at the double here is winning heat race number 1. And Craig Bristol getting defensive through the block on the 122 of Brian Dickens, and he's going to pay the price. Canada Connor up from 7th to 3rd here. Up to 4th, up 3 spots here in heat race number 1. Craig Bristol really feeling the pressure out front as the 31 of Brandon Templeton is side by side going down the backstretch. Coming out of turn 4 at the line with 2 to go. Brandon Templeton is your new leader here in heat race number 1. Craig Bristol trying to counter back here in the middle, just not going to have enough. Brandon Templeton coming out of 4 here across the start flag. White flag here coming out of 2. Brandon Templeton final time through 3 and 4. Michael Vitale trying to look under the 39 of Craig Bristol. Not going to make it happen as the battle is on for 4th, though. Connor Ross edges out Brian Dickens. Brandon Templeton, your winner. Craig Bristol, Michael Vitale, Connor Ross, Brian Dickens, Samuel Bachman, and Jake Henry. What a heat race number 1. We saw 4 wide coming out of 2. And man, I only expect it to get better from here. As let's show you your starting grid here. For heat race number 2, and heat race number 2 is sponsored by Regency Home Inspections. Starting on the pole is going to be the 099 of Glenn Sharp, and is outside the Brewerton Beast in the 513, Jeff Barker. Inside of row number 2, we got the Ant-Man, Anthony Morano, and is outside Soupy in the 88, Dan McLaren. Running out the field tonight in row number 3, we've got Tyler Flynn in 5th, and is outside the high side banger, Patrick Spangler. So a lot of action there in heat race number 1, and I look for that to carry over. We got a racy track here at I-55, and the Brewerton Beast is looking to get a good start alongside the 99 of Glenn Sharp. The Brewerton Beast going to carry momentum through 1 and 2, but not going to have enough to get to the 099. And Glenn Sharp able to set the pace out front. He can choose whatever line his little heart desires. Anthony Morano trying to go hunting for second here. You see the 88 of Soupy Dan McLaren blinking in and out a little bit. He looks to go under the 32 in the middle of 3 and 4. Can't get it done, as he's going to try to take a peek here, but the Ant-Man looks to have the Brewerton Beast clear here as we got a battle for the lead. The 32 of Anthony Morano really hooking up on the bottom here at I-55. The 99 of Glenn Sharp kind out, no man's land, not really running the lift, not carrying as much momentum as he'd like off. That middle line, not where you want to be right now, is double sticks in the air here. We're side by side for the lead and side by side for third is contact. Soupy Dan McLaren and Jeff Barker, but the final flag's in the air. The Ant-Man's clear at the line. Final time down the backstretch for Anthony Morano, looking for a clean turns 3 and 4, which he's going to have. Anthony Morano's going to win heat race number 2, followed by Glenn Sharp, Dan McLaren, Jeff Barker, Tyler Flynn, and the high side banger Patrick Spangler is going to round out heat number 2. Let us know who you're rooting for here tonight if you're out there watching, as we get ready to read off the grid here for heat race number 3, sponsored by Mauer Farm Management. Starting on the pole, we've got the 96 of Chris Albion is outside. Superman in the 218, Kurt Schatzer. The 00 of Harold Klump is going to start on the inside of row number 2 and is outside the 011 of Randall Dixon. Rounding out the field tonight in row number 3, we've got the 075 of Trevor Giroux and is outside James Bond in the 007, Michael Vecchio. Here we go. Pace car should be off, and you know, we've seen him go both ways. Got to see what Superman can do here on the restart. Gets a good jump. Is he able to pinch down the 96 of Chris Albion, really try to hook up, or is Chris Albion going to show that the bottom line is the dominant line? No, he's going to tighten up on entry into 3 and 4, and Superman's got his cape on. He's setting sail early here in heat race number 3. Battle on though for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. There is Randall Dixon looking to the back of the 075 of Trevor Giroux, trying to find a way around the 00 of Harold Klump. That 00 of Harold Klump just kind of parking himself in that middle line, kind of that no man's land that I talked about in the middle of 3 and 4. You seem like you're carrying a lot of speed in the entry, but you see you just slide in the middle of the corner and all that speed goes bye-bye on you as Trevor Giroux's looking to set sail and take 3rd over. 2 to go here as we're coming down the backstretch. Superman, Kurt Schatzer looking to take the white flag for the final time here at I-55 Raceway heat number 3. Pretty much single file here throughout the field as Kurt Schatzer is going to come through 3 and 4 for the final time. He's going to be heat race number 3 winner, followed by Chris Albee, Trevor Giroux, Harold Klump, Randall Dixon, and Michael Vecchio. Superman Kurt Schatzer able to take heat race win number 3, and we're going to take a quick break here in the Coast to Coast Racing League, and we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
We're watching the Coast to Coast Racing League Big Block Modified Division on the C2C Racing Network, presented by Flatline Racing Bodies.
And here we are for your feature action here at I-55 Speedway. Real nice how the grid says Port Royal. I just realized that. Could have maybe noticed that earlier and, you know, deleted it like I just did. But hey, can't win them all here. Starting on the pole is going to be B-Temp in the 31, Brandon Templeton, and is outside the Ant-Man, Anthony Morano. Inside of row number 2, we've got Superman, Kurt Schatzer, and is outside the 89 of Craig Bristol. Inside of row number 3, we've got Glenn Sharp, and is outside Chris Salvi. Row number 4, we've got Michael Vitale, and is outside Soupy Dan McLaren. Inside of row number 5, we've got Trevor Giroux, and is outside Canada Connor Ross. The Brewerton Beast is going to roll off on the inside of row number 6 and is outside the 00 of Harold Klump. Brian Dickens is going to roll off in the Baker's Dozen spot and is outside in P14. We've got Tyler Flynn. Randall Dixon is going to roll off on the inside of row number 8 and the 107 Samuel Bachman is outside. The rest of the field is going to be Patrick Spangler, Michael Vecchio, and Jake Henry. You know, I think Brandon Templeton is going to pull off this double. That's going to be my pick here as we're getting ready to roll off. We're going to go play in the clay at I-55 Raceway. Green flag is in the air, and the 31 of Brandon Templeton is going to try to get in front of that 32 of the Ant-Man, Anthony Morano. Anthony Morano is going to fight hard on the outside. He's going to carry all the momentum down the backstretch, and he's going to look to take over the lead at the line. New leader Anthony Morano. Here is B10 Brandon Templeton. Going to look high and handsome here. He's going to try to get his own line going up top. Now he's going to run that middle behind the Ant-Man, Anthony Morano, and caution is out here at I-55. Michael Vecchio and Tyler Flynn. Oh, is Michael Vecchio. There you go. That was Harold Klump and Michael Vecchio originally. Then I believe the right front, that's probably just, it's destroyed on Michael Vecchio's car, and it's just stuck up in the wall, and I mean, that's going to be the caution. Out front, the Ant-Man able to take over the lead, and you know that's going to be a big deal here. He's going to control the restart. Brandon Templeton trying to get that double, but man, I told you, Anthony Morano.
We're not going green.
It's not like him to, you know, not finish on the podium in a 3:58. So. That man is hungry and he wants some, there's no doubt about it. Biggest mover right now, Samuel Bachman up 5 spots already in that 107 machine. And you know he's got that 4th of July paint scheme on that puppy. He wants to go for the double podium. Your leader, Anthony Morano, here gets to set the pace coming out of 3 and 4 as we're going to be on lap 4 out of 30. Long way to go here at I-55.
Green flag,
good restart for the Ant-Man, Anthony Morano. He's going to be able to do whatever he'd like to do here to Brandon Templeton. He can move up or he can stay down low in front of Kurt Schatzer. He's going to leave the door open for Kurt. Going to go up and shut the door on B-Temp right now. Kurt Schatzer is going to shut the door on himself here as he's going to try to move up, but just gets too good of a run in the middle of 1 and 2. Gotta look to the inside, and we got another caution out as it looks like possibly 4 guys involved in this one. Let's try to see if we can get a good view. Watching Randall Dixon right now. As Connor Ross looked like he got into the 96 of Chris Alvey, went around in front of the field, and chaos ensues from there. Connor Ross able to land on all 4, and that's gonna help him. It's gonna save him a toe. Yo, William, what's up, man? How you doing, dude? Good to see you. I saw you were racing with Marty Sakala and those guys the other night at a, I believe it was a modified session at Oswego. I tried to get in it, man, but I joined a little too late as we're getting ready to go back racing. That was an old teammate of mine and watching. I appreciate the views here. Like and subscribe, man, if you like what you see here. As the green flag's out and Brandon Templeton's trying to rip that lip here, trying to get a run on the 32. Is right now he's got as good of a shot as he's had, possibly had the lead back at the line if we get another quick caution. Brandon Templeton in that 31 going high and handsome, making it work through 3 and 4. He's definitely got it this time by the 32. He's going to slide up in line. He knows he's got to go up there and try to do something. We're seeing battling all throughout the field, side by slide. Big slider from Tyler Flynn there in the 831. He's going to try to throw it up again here. Side by side in front of him, Chris Alvey. They're 3 wide. Jeff Barker up high. Samuel Bachman in the middle now. Chris Alvey does a little do-si-do here. Contact between him and the 107 of Samuel Bachman as they're rubbing doors coming out of 2. Back up front, your leader, Brandon Templeton. He is gone. He's checking out. Almost a full second lead over second place Anthony Morano, who's starting to feel some heat from Soupy Dan McLaren. Where did Soupy come from? Up 5 spots. Right now, your Flatline Racing Body's hard charger is Samuel Bachman, but if Dan McLaren makes this pass, we've got a new hard charger. He is going to work on the 32 of Anthony Morano. Contact a little going down the backstretch. That puts the Ant-Man in the wall, and he didn't like that. He's going to shove the 88 coming out of 4. Dan McLaren's going to look back here in the middle of 1 and 2, and now he's feeling some heat from the 218 of Superman Kurt Schatzer. And here comes the New Yorker in the 213, Michael Vitale. He finished on the podium in the small blocks earlier tonight, and he wants the double. Anthony Morano starting to, maybe extend that. Felt the heat earlier from Dan, and that maybe made him a little angry. He doesn't want to open that door for the 88 to get another shot here. Dan McLaren, though, doing what he has to do in the middle of the racetrack, and you got to think at the end of this thing that's going to help his tires. Not going to be burning them up as much as those guys ripping the lip, but Dan blinking in and out, that's got to be hard for the guys around him, especially Kurt Schatzer. He doesn't want to run into him going into the corner. Coming to 13 to go. Brandon Templeton, you see him half a straightaway ahead, almost a full straightaway over P2 at the moment. Dan McLaren, Anthony Morano, put the name in a hat and pull it out. Who knows who you got? It looked like at the line the 88 had it, but too close to tell here is now Dan McLaren really starting to stretch out here. Dan's definitely got P2 at the line. Superman Kurt Schatzer looks to the inside of Dan McLaren. He's trying to make it 3 wide as he slows up, gets out of the gas, and tries to get back in line. But he doesn't have much time here. I warned you. Here comes the New Yorker. Michael Vitale is all over the back of these boys, and he wants that bottom step of the podium. Out front, Brandon Templeton loves what he hears, though. These boys are racing their tails off behind him, and he's got a 2-second lead over Soupy Dan McLaren. Anthony Morano looking to counter back here with a big run out of 2. He got back to the 88's door. You gotta wonder if maybe the middle line's fading away a little bit. Is now at the line. It looked to be the 32 of Anthony Morano. Superman Kurt Schatzer nowhere to go. He's got guys side by side in front of him. He's just hoping they both make a mistake here. Is that second and third battling hard right in front of the 213, and caution is out. This is going to make it interesting. Not sure who had P2 at the line, but looks like the 007 of Michael Vecchio. Let's see if we can get a look at what happened here. Seeing that yellow machine, he's going to drive in. Just maybe didn't expect, I believe. No, I couldn't tell who that was. Was that Tyler Flynn? Yeah, didn't expect Tyler Flynn to maybe cross down the track. Just floated up into him, but it's going to give the boys in second and third a chance to take a break here and catch their breath, and hopefully they can match the pace of Brandon Templeton, who was able to walk away. But when we get this restart, we're going to have 5 to go, and if they've got anything, they've got to throw it at that 31 fast. Oh, William, cool deal, man. Good to see you paired yourself up with some good guys. Throttle Motorsports are awesome guys. Here's the green flag getting ready to come out here at I-55.
Green flag, green flag.
Brandon Templeton has set the pace all night, but all of a sudden that lead evaporated with this caution. We got 4.5 to go going down the backstretch. Kurt Schatzer trying to get under the 88 of Dan McLaren, but to no avail. Is that the battle on the track right now? Trevor Giroux and Michael Vitale. Trevor Giroux looking to take over 5th spot. 3 to go here this time is Brandon Templeton looking to stay out front, hold firm here. Double sticks in the air this time. Kurt Schatzer looking underneath Dan McLaren. He knows he's running out of time. He's got to make a move here. White flags in the air. Final time around I-55. The Ant-Man Anthony Morano has slowly reeled into 31, but it just doesn't look like he's going to have enough time. His final time through 3 and 4, the 31 of Brandon Templeton. It's going to get the sweep here on I-55. Pulling off the double and coming in P2 is going to be the Ant-Man Anthony Morano. And rounding out the podium tonight, you've got Soupy Dan McLaren in the 88. And what a battle here tonight at I-55. Those boys put on a hard-fought show, and you're looking at the top 10. We told you the podium here. Kurt Schatzer's going to finish 4th. Trevor Giroux 5th. Michael Vitale 6th. Glenn Sharp 7th. Just going to try to slow this down here so the boys don't disappear. Samuel Bachman 8th. Brian Dickens 9th. Jeff Barker 10th. We'll show you the rest of the field here in just a second. The high side banger, Patrick Spangler, 11th. Harold Klump, 12th. Jake Henry, 13th. Tyler Flynn, 14th. And rounding out the top 15 is going to be Michael Vecchio. The rest of the field is going to go as follows. Craig Bristol, Chris Alvey, Connor Ross, and Randall Dixon. A great show here tonight. And, you know, we're going to have a bunch of questions here for Soupy because all of a sudden, he was in P3 before we know it. And we're going to have to figure out who, what, when, where, and why of how that happened. Maybe we didn't go back to see that far enough. And actually, you know, while we're doing his interview, we're going to find the who, what, when, where, and why of how it happened. This was the pass for that final podium spot here. Looking like going through turn or down the backstretch, Kurt Schatzer just rubbed the wall a little bit and going through 3 and 4. Dan McLaren able to secure it at the line. And well, Dan felt the heat throughout the race, but never gave it up here. And Dan McLaren, P3, man, with this kind of field, you got to be happy with that, brother.
100%. I just told Brandon and Anthony, I'm like, yeah, I have no problem, you know, finishing third to those two guys. They're top of the field, super fast, super clean. So sharing a podium with them is pretty cool.
Yeah, and you know, let's be honest, this is no slight at Anthony Morano, one of the best we have, man. But there were definitely times in that long green flag run where it looked like you were the faster car. But just talk to us a little bit about how hard it is to pass here.
Oh, it's super hard, but once you figure out the line you want to run and you feel like it's a little quicker, then you just stick to it. I wasn't going to leave, the middle to bottom. Anthony was running a little higher, but it put a smile on my face when I actually got by him for a few laps. But then before that last caution, I guess he edged me out and was managed to pick up the second. But that was heck of a race. I'm happy with it.
Yeah, you got to be happy with it, man. You sound like you got a huge smile on your face. And, at the end of the day, Anthony, will probably admit that you guys were battling hard, and at the right time, the caution came out for him. And, hard fought third place. Dan, congratulations. Who you want to thank?
You guys first for the broadcast week in, week out, every season. It's always fun to go back and watch them. All the boys over at Venom, they helped me out big time on the dirt side, that's for sure. Dean for Super Dirt Car Series. It's always fun running this paint scheme, that's for sure. So happy to put it on the podium for him. JBR Designs, Magnum Race Designs, everybody behind the scenes for the league.
Well, hell of a job tonight, Dan. And, I think when I call these races, you finish on the podium a lot, so I might be a good luck charm for you here. That's the angle I'm going to go with.
Hey, maybe.
Well, congratulations, Soupy, man. Looking forward to a lot more of these.
Thanks, brother.
That's going to be your P3 finisher, Dan McLaren. And, Now we're going to bring up a man who I told you he'd be hungry, and yeah, you had some bad luck in that small block, Anthony, but able to ring the bell here and run hard for a good P2.
Yeah, I definitely felt a little bit better in a 358, but things happen, I guess. What are you gonna do? But car felt good in the big block. Yeah, little. I think it was a little bit better there once the track started to slick up than Brandon was, but catching someone and passing someone here at I-55 is a whole nother chore.
Yeah, no kidding. And I rewinded back on the replay a little bit, and this won't get you into any trouble, I promise. Good, hard, clean racing, but there, we saw coming out of 2. Dan may have fed you into the wall a little bit, and going back into 3 and 4, did you have that on your mind when you bumped him a little bit going into that crossover?
Yeah, it was a little bit of okay, that was not how I want to be raced. So you're gonna move me, I'll move you back, and we'll move on and race another race. No problem with Dan. Obviously, me and Dan race against each other a lot, so yeah, it's just Rubbins racing, and we'll move on. No protest for me, nothing like that. Just running around, and contact happens. It's racing, so it's gonna happen.
You're exactly right. That's just you're running up top. A guy runs you a little harder than you like, so you just give it back to him a little bit, man. And that's how you earn respect out there. That's how it's done. You didn't slam him and park him and put it in the wall. You just got your point across. And that's a lesson to everybody here. If you get fuming a little bit, that's the clean way to settle it. You let the guy in front of you know you're not happy with what they did. And man, that was textbook, dude. But going back here to this final restart, the long run, Brandon Templeton was able to walk away, but those final couple laps, you were able to keep in touch with him. Do you think, maybe a couple more laps, you had anything in the tank for him?
I would have gave him a mirror full. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do much with him with the track getting down to where it was pretty much you had to run in the middle. So most I could have done was try to squeeze on his inside and maybe make him a little nervous, but knowing Brandon, that wouldn't even have phased him. He just would have drove away. So yeah, I'm not one to go out here and feed doors or right rears I hate when people, do that for wins and stuff like that. So I'm not definitely going to be one of those persons that's going to go out there and do it. So Brandon was fast, man. We were just talking down in the waiting room. I was like, did your tires fall out? He said the top went away. And I thought I found something up top there at that last run there, right before that last caution. Found a little cut down, but like I said, trying to pass here probably wouldn't have worked well. I would have just stayed put and came home second and tried to recover from missing 2 weeks in points.
Well, hey, man, hell of a job. But a little side note here, because you had a teammate talking in the chat box tonight, and he's an old teammate of mine. So I've got some homework for you here, Anthony. Get William Watson signed up for this league. Get him back racing in here again.
Yeah, actually, I was just talking to him in Discord. He said he was going to try to talk to Roger and see what he's got to do. I don't know what his I rating is exactly, but it'd be awesome to get Bart in here running with us. No, Will's a good guy, runs clean, a lot of fun. So we'll see. We just got Clay back in here, so yeah, we'll see. Maybe Monday we'll have a surprise and bring out a whole fleet of cars out here.
Hey, man, well, I'm William, he's got me in his corner. Not that that means anything. That may actually be bad. So, William, maybe you don't want me in your corner, but I'm rooting for you to get back in here, man. I miss you. You were always fun to run with. But back on the subject here, Anthony Morano, man, good job. You dominated last night. It's a shame that the 410 race couldn't happen with iRacing's problems, but man, good job able to carry momentum over into tonight. And you got a lot of sponsors on that thing, man. Let's hear about them.
Yeah, I got to thank my wife, Sherry, the boys over at FTM, Dean at Super Dare Car, Logan at High Mom Lens, DJ Sim Shop, Gunner at Swan Speed, Expert Installation, MDI TV. Yeah, there's a lot of little names on this car. And Shaggy, you doing the broadcast for us here, and happy 4th of July, and everyone at Coast to Coast.
Well, Ant-Man, congratulations, man. You're one of my favorites to talk to, and you're just the amount of respect you show and the way you go about it, like I really mean what I said, the way you race Dan, that's the way you got to do it, when a guy runs you a little hard. And that's textbook's example, dude, and we're lucky to have you here, man.
Thanks a lot, Shaggy. Appreciate it, buddy.
It's your second place finisher, Anthony Morano, and I put the pressure on this man. I told him he was going to be the favorite coming in, and Brandon, you answered the bell, dude. 2 for 2.
Yeah, that was a pretty fun race. I honestly did not expect that top berm. That when I went up there on that restart with Anthony when he chose the bottom, I did not expect to come out, even with him or so, whatever it was on the back straight. I kind of expected to be a few car lengths back, but it stuck, and so I just kept running it. And a few late cautions definitely had me scared. The top went away. And I tried the middle before that caution. Thank God, when I kind of built a lead, I started experimenting just a tiny bit, and I knew that the bottom at that point had become a tenth or two faster, and so I just started running, or the middle, excuse me. So I just started running the middle, and I think that makes it tough to pass too. But from then on, it was just about hanging on.
Yeah, I mean, you went over it a little bit there in your description, but just to dive into it a little bit more, we all know how good that 32 car is. And when he was able to get out in front of you there on the start, were you worried at all?
Yeah, I mean, I'm worried if I was really chasing wins too serious, but I'm just here for fun, and definitely I thought there goes my chances, in the back of my mind I thought that's probably all she wrote, but you never know with that track, it's kind of fun when the line changes up, the track changes, and the big block had enough power to try different lines and try different things, and so it kind of makes it fun.
Well, you made it fun for me, man. You made me look like I knew what I was talking about, so I appreciate you making my wallet a little fatter here, and winning is the favorite. I like to bet on the favorites, but congratulations, Brandon. 2 for 2, man. Got a lot of sponsors on that Dirt Track Bank 31. Let's hear them.
Yeah, I gotta thank Flatline Racing Bodies, Cadillac Recovery, everybody helping out with the league, you for doing the stream, Stream Images, Mealy's Makery, Big C's Lawn Care, Dirt Track Bank in Malvern. Malvern Bank helps out, tons of racers all over the country and starting to help out some sim racers. So we appreciate that from Jay. And thanks to Got Your Six Racing Network, Joe Halter, Brian Dickens, Kurt Schatzer, Hammer Down Racing Team. We help each other out a lot, and that makes it a lot more fun than just going alone. So that definitely adds a little bit to it, and watching the broadcast back's awesome. So thanks for doing that. Thanks to everyone that watches them, and thanks for everyone that helps out with the league. Whether they're a review team or admin, setting up races, schedules, points. Thanks to everyone that helps out.
Well, congratulations on joining me in Extreme eSpeed TV Victory Lane twice tonight, Brandon. Hell of a job, man.
Thank you.
And well, that's gonna do it for Thursday Night Thunder here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. And man, hell of a show tonight once again. Got some new guys in the chat box, old friends, old teammates. It was nice talking to you, man. I'm really looking forward to getting some guys in here and really increasing this league's potential, as we got some of the best guys on iRacing. There's no doubt about it. And Brandon Templeton in that 31, he showed he's one of them, and that guy right behind him in that 32 machine, he is right up there with him. So once again, I'm Zach Chapman, part of the Coast to Coast Racing Network here of broadcasters. I work for Shaggy TV, and it was my pleasure bringing you tonight's show here, Thursday Night Thunder at I-55. I'm going to sign off, and gonna hope you'll be back with me and my partner Travis Piercefield here for the Sunday Night Pro Late Model Division. So make sure you clear out your schedules, make room for us on Sunday, because we're gonna be here live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Have a good evening.